Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's do some more fun crafting. Stay tuned. So yesterday, we made this bag using copier paper. Just a plain old piece of copier paper. Then we made our own top and bottom border using text weight decorative paper that we had. And this became a very, very economical project to make. So after the video was over and I was looking at these bags and I was thinking just how cute they are, all of these ideas just started rushing through my head, and I'm jotting things down like crazy. And I'm like, head be quiet, but it wouldn't. So today we are going to use our copier paper again, but this time we're going to make a box. We are going to come back at a later date and make a larger bag, but this time I'm going to show you guys how we can use our copier paper to make some fun boxes. And here is the box that we're going to be making today. I wanted to stick with black and white because I thought it was just so classy and so cute. And I'm a big fan of black and white, especially when it's decorative like this. And again, I use copier paper on the outside, copier paper on the inside. So this is really a not so fancy box when it comes to the supplies that were used. And then I cut out my own borders and I used some of the butterflies that you guys have seen me making. However, the one thing that I did do to this, to make it a sturdy box, I did back it with some scrap chipboard that I have in my stash. And if you don't have chipboard, you can double up or triple up on your cereal boxes. I'm not a big fan of using cardboard, but if that's what you want to use and that's what you have, by all means, use what you have access to. Make it work for you. So we are going to make this box and you'll see just how easy it is. Before we jump into today's craft, I really want to say something quick to those of you who are watching the video but haven't committed to subscribing. I would love to have you join my online crafting family. I would be honored to have you as one of my subscribers. And I can promise you this, you will see some very unique, high caliber crafting. But not only that, you are going to learn a whole lot about paper crafting that you cannot learn from punching buttons on a Cricut or a Silhouette or whichever machine is out there. On this channel, we are doing old school crafting so that we can build up a true understanding of the fundamentals of paper crafting. So I think that you'll find hitting that subscribe button is worth it. So go ahead and do it now. So here is what we need to make our box. We need a chipboard piece, and it's a medium weight. That's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. We need 4 chipboard pieces that are 5 7/8 by 2 3/8. We need 2 strips that are 2 by 12. And to make the lid, we're going to need a piece of cardstock, and this measures 6 5/8 by 6 5/8. Then I'll be lining the inside of my box with just a plain white piece of paper. And this one measures 5 3/4 by 10. Might need to trim it down, but that's what we're going to start with. And then I have an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of standard copy paper. All right, so to make our box, we're going to start on the 11-inch side of our 8 1/2 by 11-inch paper, and we're going to score every 2 1/2 inches. So 2 1/2, 5, 7 1/2, and 10. Then we'll rotate it to the 8 1/2 inch side. We're going to score this at 2 and at 8. Now let's fold and burnish all of our scores. Okay, so once we have all of our scores folded and burnished, this strip here that runs along the 8 1/2 inch side is the smaller panel. This is our glue flap. So we will have a rectangle there and then a rectangle here. And we need to remove those. So I am going to just go ahead and angle in on the bottom and remove it. And I'll do the same thing here. So I will just cut here and remove this piece. And now we're going to come back to the bottom where we're going to have the bottom flaps that we need to cut out, and we have our tab. We are going to make an angle cut on both sides of the score mark of that tab. And we'll do that on all of our tabs. So wherever that score is, we're going to cut an angle on both sides of the score mark. Now we have this, and we need to lay down our chipboard pieces. So we're going to take the pieces that measure 5 7/8 by 2 3/8, and we're going to lay them down so that they butt against this and they butt against this. Now what you may find is that you need to trim just a little bit, but when I put mine in, I'm really trying to make sure at the bottom I've got it snug against this, and then I've got the chipboard inside of my score marks on both sides. I don't want the chipboard overlapping the score because then I can't close my box. And then I'll just put them all down. So now that we have them all down, I have added a 1/2 inch strip of tape going all the way across, and I'll take my top piece and I'm simply going to fold it over into the inside of the box. Alright, so now that I have my chipboard pieces down and I've got the top folded over, I have added tape, and I am just lifting up my tape so that we can now come back and put in the liner sheet. So I'm going to move this out of the way for just a moment, and I'll bring in my liner sheet, which measures 5 3/4 by 10, and I just want to do a nice little test fit of that, and I think that I'm good. So at this point, what I am going to do is use my tape runner and just place tape along the edge at the top and then at the bottom edge. And now I'll take this piece and I am just going to put it down, trying to get it even with the bottom and the side. So I'll lay it down just like that. Then I'll use my bone folder to get my creases defined. And now you can see I've got a basic lined box. So now at this point, I am going to bring in my 2 strips of 2 by 12 border paper. And again, I'm going to use my tape runner to lay tape down on both of these borders, and then we'll position it on our box. So I'll take my first piece and I'm just going to put it here at the bottom. And I will have some overhang, and that's okay because I'll go back and trim it. Then I'll take my second piece and put my tape on it and then put it down. So I'm just going to place it down. Try to get it even. It's okay if it's not. And now I can flip this over and I'll just trim off that excess. Alright, so once we have this down, I'm simply going to do another fold just to make sure I've got everything nice and squared. And at this point, I am going to take my tape runner, place tape on my glue tab, and we can get this stuck down. So when I put my box together, I am going to put it together so that the back of the box is where the joint actually shows. And I am more than okay with that. And once I've got it down, I'm just going to smooth everything out. Now I can take the bottom, close it, and we will have a box. So I am going to bring in my glue. This is where I'm going to use glue on this project. And I'll place glue on my 2 side pieces and join those. Then I'll place glue on the back of the box, fold it in this way, and then I'll place glue on that front flap and fold it over. Now I'm going to stand this up and make sure that it's nice and squared, and when it is, I'll use my bone folder to go on the inside and get everything nice and stuck. And then finally I have this 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch square. I am just going to put some glue on that, and that's going to go in the bottom of this box, and it'll basically just act as a stabilizer for the bottom of the box in case you want to put something heavy or something of weight in your box. So then I'll use my bone folder, work that in, and now we've got a little base in this box. So now we get to make our lid. So to make the lid, I have this gorgeous 6 5/8 by 6 5/8 piece, and I am going to score at 1 and at 2 on all 4 sides. And then let's fold and burnish all of our scores. And then once we have our scores folded and burnished, we are going to have 3 corner pieces that we will need to remove on all 4 sides of this lid. So what I'll do is I'm going to go into the second score mark, drag down, then I'll angle in on one tab, angle in on the other side of that tab, and then I can remove this piece altogether, and then I'll remove that piece. And this is what it will look like. So I am going to do this on the remaining 3 sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once we have our tabs cut out, this is what we're left with. So now we'll bring in our glue again, and we're going to place glue on the tabs, and we will put this box together. So I am going to bring up my ends, making sure that I get a nice tight joint there. And then I'll use my bone folder to get it stuck down. And I'll just repeat this process until I have my lid put together. And then once I have the lid put together, we'll have these outer flaps. And all we'll need to do is take our glue, place some glue on those flaps, and then just fold them in. So we'll take our flap and just fold it in like that. And we'll do this on all sides of this box. And so once I have all of my flaps folded in, I am just going to go around my box to make sure I have everything nice and stuck. And then I'll bring in the box that we made, put my lid on, and I have an excellent fit on this lid. So on this one, I decorated like this, and I think I'm going to do something similar on this one. One thing that I did notice, and you know, it happens to all of us from time to time, I noticed on this one that I cut these wider than this, but what I did here was 1.5 inches, and this is 2 inches. So whichever look you like, it's totally up to you how wide you want your panels to be. But with this look right here, this is 2 inches wide. So I am going to grab my butterflies, and these I made, and I'll have that video linked below on how I actually made my butterflies. I just printed them out on my printer, and then I cut them out. So I'm going to get that stuck down, and then I'll take the wings on the top butterfly and just open those up like he is in flight. This time I'm going to tuck him on this side of my box. So I'll take my glue, and I'm going to sit him right there. And then I have my sentiment that says, "So happy for you." And I'm going to tuck that right there underneath the butterfly's butt, just a little bit. And you can see we now have another cute box. So when finished, these boxes measure 2.5 by 2.5, and they are 6 inches high. So this is a pretty good size box to be able to use for gift giving. And it's also another fun and economical way to craft by just picking up things that you have in your home. Most of us have copier paper, or you might call it printer paper, but most of us have that type of paper in our homes. So just grab some sheets and start crafting. So if you've been crafting with chipboard for any length of time, you have some chipboard scraps. So just pull those out and make it work for you. Make some bags, make some boxes, because we don't always have to have those papers from the store. We can actually turn out a professionally looking item using found items in our home and in our stashes. So guys, I really hope that you have liked this economical way to craft with printer paper or copier paper, whichever one you choose to call it. And if you have enjoyed this project, and if it has given you some ideas, please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear what you guys have in mind for the copier paper that you have in your homes. So y'all, please stay safe, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.